We're going to be talking about some of the cards that you're going to want to have for the new RB Archetype. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. We're going to start off over here with machine duplication because conveniently enough, the RB Goten Driller qualifies as a machine dupable target. Well, thank you, Konami. I love the fact that we can actually see synergy out here with the lines like this. I'm actually particularly happy that we are seeing machine duplication be a viable option that you will be able to incorporate with this deck and be able to take a little bit of advantage of with this. You know, we talk about, the quick ability to generate advantage and other things like that. I'm also kind of curious to know what other machine dupable cards that we might be able to build into this deck and just see what we can work with that. But machine dupe is always going to be probably one of the turbo options that you're going to think of when it comes to a deck like this. Yeah, I think that's actually really, really cool. And then we have Clockwork Knight. This one should be really no shocker to anybody out here, because when you're typically looking at these sorts of options, you've got to understand that Clockwork Knight, not only being the link monster, but also being the field manipulator, is going to work out really, really cool for this deck. And the whole point of what you're going to try to do with this is, Clockwork Knight gives you the machine ability to kind of clean things up. Also, that means you could technically incorporate some sort of Cyber Dragon love into this deck too. Because remember, the archetype only locks you out of the extra deck if you use the effect to move, or if you use the spell card that special summons special summons the monster. Outside of that, you're free to do whatever. And if you can do like full RB combo without even touching the card that locks you for the whole turn, then you could do some kind of cool things. A lot of people are going to continue to explore these options, but I think that those are the real big two winners here. Then we have Regulus. Now, if you've played your fair share of these types of decks, then you know straight off the bat that anytime machines are involved, Regulus is going to get called up on the phone, and he's going to show up and he's going to go, "Oh, hi guys, how are you guys doing?" Well, that's always going to be his purpose. Regulus is kind of the little boss monster that you can slap on the end of an end board and be able to use it kind of as a chance to help you actually be able to play the game. And let's call it what it is. End board negates are always going to be very, very strong pieces. All right, Regulus also, once again, the lock is only from the extra deck. So Regulus gets underneath all of the downsides that you could possibly be seeing here with this. And once again, seems relatively free to me with what we're trying to go with on that front. Now, what about Engage, Hornet Drones, and Kagari? Now, this is actually kind of a really cool idea here to think about what you're able to work with this, because remember, it locks you out of the extra deck, but if you go Hornet Drones into, the Kagari, add back the Hornet Drones, and you continue to kind of climb on up the ladder with the things that you're able to work with there, well, that seems really, really freaking cool, and I appreciate that a lot. That ability to have a mini combo line where, the Engage and the Hornet Drones are both going to net you some very strong positives along the way to maintain, card advantage, and just to be able to get to the turbo rocket to get into the spell and just keep going. Link 3s have never been way more achievable than at this point. So I do say I like that idea of the Sky Striker package being usable in here. Now there's Turbo Booster. This has been quite interested. So if you've normal summoned a monster this turn, you can special summon this card from the hand, and we contribute the card to destroy one monster the opponent controls that battled one of your monsters this turn. Now, Turbo Booster, once again, we have another machine dupe target that we can just kind of toss on in here and be able to, get some free access out of. And I like that. The more machine dupable targets that I feel like this deck can actually have access to is going to work out really, really well in our favor, because, actually just a machine dupe resolving, I think, should get you to the full Link 3 and should be able to just ensure that, we'll be able to get a lot further along the combo line. So Turbo Booster is basically another free extender for the cool things that you can do. I'm sure that there's way more extenders that we'll be able to, you know, look at, but okay. Barricade Borg blocker. Well, you gave an Archetype the ability to basically want to pull out the best cool options that they can. Well, Barricade Borg blocker lets you get the free discard. Guess what? That's going to be really good because you're going to get to add the field spell to your hand, which is going to be really, really good. I mean, and what? Your face-up spell card you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Barricade Borg blocker's existence in this deck, his whole purpose is just to ensure that you can get some recycling for the field spell. Another link too that we'll be able to make underneath the bad lock, as we're going to be calling it. It is what it is, I feel like, with the Barricade Borg blocker. Honestly, also being able to filter possibly one of the pieces out of your hand, depending on how you've opened up, will probably depend on where you need to go from there. And then the double-headed Anger Knuckle. Oh boy, so this is another 2 machine monsters to make, but remember, he can't be used as link material, and you can only use one of the following effects. So during the main phase, we can send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to target a level 10 machine monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense mode. Or if this card is in your graveyard, we can send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this. Now, there is an idea here, or at least a concept that says, hey, we could, in theory, be able to use some level 10 stuff with this deck. You know, Urgent Schedule could actually be useful. You could use this stuff to just get some lines set up in the extra monster zone. Now, you just got to be careful, you know, you can't lock yourself if you're looking at playing big trains. And that's fine. The synergy with Double Angler Knuckle could open up some of those ideas for you to explore, and I kind of like that idea. So we'll have to wait and see. Then Dawn Dragster. Well, I mean, this effectively is one that could be done. So underneath the lock, people are looking at boss monsters that you can try to access. Well, Dawn Dragster should meet all of the requirements because he's always just been about his big booty. Dawn Dragster, I mean, is always going to be the spell negate, trap negate, and that's kind of it. And the fact that this support actually works with Dawn Dragster is pretty freaking hilarious. Now, I with the current build and the levels of things, I very well can't see that we're going to be able to, you know, make those big, you know, summonable plays just because it feels way too hard. But this is a, hey, underneath the lock, you would be able to do this. So that gives you a little bit more synergy with the ideas that you can actually work with. So, I don't know, maybe something to actually try out. Now, this next one is Cyberdark Dragon. Now, this is hilarious because for those of you that don't know, basic Cyberdark Dragon has 1,000 attack points. And then on its special summon, you could target the dragon in your graveyard and equip it to this card, and then he gains the attack of what was equipped to him. I think that Cyberdark Dragon is a hilarious boss monster that there is an idea that you could incorporate the RB stuff with the Cyberdark stuff to basically be able to create this really cool strategy that you could basically be able to punish your opponent with. And I think that that itself is an idea, actually, because you don't really tend to think about that all that much. You're like, oh, hey, you know, Cyberdark has this really, really cool stat line that happens to work out really, really, really well here, and I like that a lot. It's really, really cool. And then just, we're going to toss limiter removal here in the end. You know, you are playing a machine-based strategy. And every time that machine-based strategies tend to come out of the woodwork, we always get to see a ha-ha funny that they're like, oh, you know, 3 limiter removals is game. I mean, yeah. I mean, technically, you know, whatever is whatever is technically linked to him, he's going to start getting bigger, and then you will be able to rock him, sock him, knock out the opponent, and win the game. That's just how it is. I think everything here is, I mean, we're very early on the tentative slots here. We'll have to wait and see how things go, but, you know, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.